Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to BattleTech Heavy Metal, where you might notice we're in a slightly different position than we were in at the end of the last one. Here's what happened. I had a technical problem that basically destroyed the last episode. There's a whole episode that I recorded that you will never see because the file is non-functional. And I'm kind of bummed out about it because it was kind of a cool episode. We finished that flashpoint, we flew around a little bit, we did some work. You might notice that in some ways our position here looks a little dire. Don't worry, it's not as bad as it seems. Nothing particularly fascinating happened at the end of that flashpoint. We just went to the spaceport to load up the stuff, and then despite the completely nonsensical plan of rushing the Black Widow with drones, which would cause her to ignore us for no reason because, she just hates drones so much that it would disable her rational faculties, her people totally did turn up at the spaceport, gee what a surprise, to try to kill us, and then we trivially killed them because, it was like a 3.5 skull flashpoint and they were driving like mediums and damaged heavies. And then everybody, after we did the trivially defeating her people mission, everybody on our ship was like, oh my god, that's the most dangerous thing we've ever done. The Black Widow is so unstoppable. Oh, if she had been there personally, surely we and everybody we know would have been dead. And it's just like, no, we have a King Crab and a UAC-20 and... No, we would have been fine. She literally couldn't pose a threat to us. It's just not how the mechanics of the game work. But fine. Whatever, we're out of it, we're on the other side. Then, like I said, we did a little bit of flying around, I got in some trouble, and currently we have a little under 400,000 C-bills. It's looking like we might be in a little bit of danger here, but the good news is we have so much stuff that we can sell. So right now we are on the Endarmax system. We are in friendly space, Capellan space, and we're just going to sell some stuff off to get ourselves to safety. But before we do that, we're going to buy something with almost every single C-bill we have left, because check this out, this is the last part we need for one of the very, very few mechs we still need to complete. So give me that.
New equipment available.
Yep, and then throw that thing in the storage bay, and let's never ever look at it again. Does it seem to you guys like they're doing way, way more talking on the ship intercom than usual? It's like, okay. Clearly I'm getting a little frustrated here in the later days of the thing. So we flew to this system with the intention of doing some work for the Capellans against the Free Worlds League, because both of those factions are active here, and I was like, okay, this will be a good place for us to level up our reps on some very high difficulty missions, which means high reputation rewards, and when we arrived, this is what we saw. For some reason, on this Capellan world, there is not a single Capellan mission. Only the people that we wanted to work against are offering payment. So, this was kind of a dead end. Like I said, we're going to have to sell some stuff to make it through, so let's go ahead and do that. Fortunately, we do have some spare mechs. It shouldn't be a big deal. Let me see here. What do we have extras of? Well, for one thing, probably you can see the quantity up here. A lot of these, it says we only have one of, but what it means is we only have one in the storage bay. We certainly have multiples of some of these because they're in the active bay slots. So we could figure out what we have extras of that way and sell it off. In particular, I know we have a grasshopper, right? So we could sell this grasshopper, but let me just real quickly here. We may as well sell off anything that we are actually holding two of in storage. And a lot of this stuff is going to be lighter mechs because we have run into so many lighter mechs over the course of the thing. And in fact, we are on 3 Shadowhawk 2Hs. Still, basically never seen a Shadowhawk 2D, which is a shame. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit more secure. We had a ton of value just waiting to be turned into cash, There we go, 4.3 million, and that's without liquidating any weapons or anything, which I don't really want to do on camera because it would take a while to figure out, what exactly can we afford to part with, what should we hold on to in case we need to refit mechs, or in case we, lose components in battle. Let's not stress too much about that. So, we need to figure out where we're going. We need to go somewhere else and get our whole thing back under control. And I've been thinking Calcerain. It's a very, very short flight. It's 4.5 skulls, and it does have Capellan and theoretically, potentially Lyran missions, We are 100. We are at 100 rep with the Lyrans. We don't need to push their rep any higher, but we really need to have some jobs offered to us in order to push our other reputations lower. So I think this makes a lot of sense. There's no repairs or anything to do. Oh, I forgot one thing. Completing that flashpoint in the way that we did get us access to a new kind of mech that I've never seen before. We earned ourselves this bull shark, which is a pretty cool looking robot, honestly. And it has an interesting loadout that I'm kind of eager to try out. You might have noticed there some Lost Tech components, some SLDF type stuff. We got some extended range lasers and fancy UACs and LBXs, but the thing I'm most interested in is this thumper cannon. So it's the mortar, but presumably it does more damage. Unfortunately, there are no numbers printed on this thing when there absolutely obviously should be. That's a real problem. I really wish that it said what it did on it. It's also worth noting that it has a couple of double heat sinks. These are super cool. So double heat sinks provide twice as much cooling as a normal heatsink at the same weight as a normal heatsink. They're just twice as effective, but they take up 3 times as much space in the mech. That's not always a problem, especially on smaller mechs, which usually have less room for components anyway. But you can see on assault class mechs, you can sometimes actually get pretty close to running out of space. And we have a couple of mechs where it would not be trivial to fit double heatsinks in anywhere except the extremities, and given the incredible difficulty of finding these things, you don't really want to do that. My inclination for right now is just to leave them in the bull shark, and we'll play with the bull shark a little bit, hopefully on this next world. But we might strip these out of here and try to jam them in the crab or something instead. Actually, out of curiosity, how would they fit in the crab? Let's take a quick look at that. I said let's take a quick look at that. I don't know what it is with this game. Why everything in this game runs so jerkily and slowly. Crab. What does the space in the crab look like? Also, the crab does not have a cockpit mod anymore. That's right. I had to have somebody eject from it at some point, right? And we destroyed the cockpit. That's a little bit of a shame. Do we have an injury cockpit mod that we could jam in here? No, we don't. Well, bummer. Okay, so there's plenty of room in the crab. Actually, double heatsinks would be really nice here. We may as well throw a big comm system in there. Right, I think we usually run the crab alongside the Annihilator, and I know our Annihilator has a resolve gain comm system, so maybe it's not necessary, but it feels a little silly to have that just be sitting open, you know? Sure, we'll throw a comm system in there. If we're about to travel anyway, right, we may as well make a little bit of a modification. Also, I did play with some of the mech designs a little bit, just replaced some crummy components with some plus versions of those same components. In particular, the Griffin. Griffin gained quite a bit of damage from doing that. Alright, let's go ahead and make this flight. A flashpoint did pop up over here, working for the Kellhounds against nobody. I mean, flashpoints are cool loot-wise, but obviously this doesn't give us any reputation changes that we need, so I don't think it's a very high priority. Also, it has been nice that we've at least been able to mostly be flying to new worlds. Remember, every time we visit a new system, we do earn some points on that. And our total score is somewhere in the neighborhood of 510,000 right now. So even though we did veer off of the optimal scoring path in order to do a bunch of stuff for the Capellans and whatnot, I think our score is still going to be fine. It's not going to be great, and we're probably not going to pass the score that we attained last time we did career mode. But I think it's still an okay number. It's a number I'm not embarrassed about, which is my primary concern. You know, as a person who has to exist on the internet, I can't have my gamer credentials being questioned in front of literally fives of people watching this series. So I actually have, once we arrive, I'll tab out here, because I did note my our previous game score on the scoring list, and I said it in a recent episode, but I can't remember if it was the last one, yes, the one that nobody gets to see or not. So, first of all, let's visit the store real quick. We're still looking for Shadowhawk 2D and Highlander 733. Those are actually the only 2 mechs we still need for completion. This planet has none of them. Okay. We're getting real close here. What is this? Arm mod? Plus 10 melee damage. You know, honestly, it's a 0-ton damage mod. It might be worth picking up. It's nice and cheap. Okay, so nothing interesting here. Please, please, please show me some decent contracts. And while it's generating those, I'm just going to tab out real quick. Our score last time we played career mode was 614,542 points. So 614 is definitely, we're not going to get to 600, but we are going to be less than 100,000 points away from it, I think. Please tell me, okay, yes, work against the Free Worlds League, that's fantastic, and... okay, cool, great. Still no work being offered by the Capellans, even though the Capellans are listed as an active faction on this planet, aren't they? Yeah, they are. We're just having really bad luck. The missions are not generating the way we need them to generate. Well, that's still fine. So where exactly is my reputation with the Free Worlds League? Could we push them to negative 100? Did I fail to click? I might have failed to click. 73. So we'd have to lose 27 points here? I mean, it's not undoable. Oh, by the way, again, a thing I don't know if I noticed during the last episode or not, so apologies if I pointed this out before. But you'll note we are at negative 100 with 2 factions, plus 100 with 2 factions, and then plus 107 with the Draconis Combine. Here's a frustrating thing. Faction reputation completion is at 40 of 50,000. That's 10,000 points for each faction with whom your reputation is at the maximum or minimum value 4 times instead of 5, because we actually aren't getting reputation completion for the 107. The Draconis Combine isn't counting toward this. That's a total bummer, man. That's a really annoying bug. It's fine. We're going to push the Free Worlds League down. We'll get to another negative 100. It's just annoying. So maximum reputation change. What could we do here if we took this as all the way down? Minus 18. Okay, so yeah, between 2 missions, we can totally get this done. We do still need 2 pieces of the Highlander 733, so we should probably take some priority salvage. We are not strongly cash motivated. We should probably do the one of these that pays the worst first. Yeah. So what is this? One of our dropships in the Calcerain system. A final message indicated a hard landing. That dropship was carrying a valuable piece of technology as cargo, and while we are willing to write off the ship itself, we very much need that cargo. Okay. Go to that place and help them recover that thing. We can do this. So let's take some priority salvage. And then we'll take no money on this one, and then on the one that pays more, we'll be able to take a little bit higher of a percentage of the base. And we have 3 of 5 pieces of that Highlander 733, so if we encounter one on this mission, we could just wrap that up, and that would give us completion of 1 more class. It's an exciting prospect. So, I'm not going to roll the blood wheel on this one. You know, 5 skull missions are hard enough as it is, I think. Hard enough to be interesting. So, this might be a good time for us to try out our bull shark. What's the heat efficiency on this thing? It's rated sort of mid-low. It's possible that this thumper cannon is really intended to be used. I mean, it says here, destroying lighter mechs and vehicles entirely, so it's very much meant to be used against smaller targets, but I just really want to see the thing in action. Also, it has a really cool look. So I do so love the Annihilator. I think this Hoplite is certainly a strong contender when we're rolling against heavy enemies, especially in a hot biome. And then it's just like, the question is, do we King Crab, or do we maybe bring in, like, the Grasshopper to take advantage of the heat? You're a pretty long-range mech, right? Extended range medium lasers go out to 270 optimal, 360 maximum. So the maximum range of a normal medium laser is 270, to give you an idea there. So they're not like a lot longer range. But yeah, aside from that, these weapons are effective at a pretty impressive distance. So we don't need the Stalker then. We have we have 3 mechs that are quite effective at long range. We have the Crab, which can run up and be a tank. I think this is okay. The question is just, which pilots? I'm inclined to bring in Cruz. And maybe do like... Well, actually, maybe she should stay on the Bull Shark. The crab having sensor lock, I think, makes a lot of sense. There are a lot of situations where the crab doesn't get to fire. And then the chicken hound is the hoplite is just anyone who can aim a gun. I mean, it should probably be somebody with breaching shot. Let's give it to tire fire. Remember, it's very heat efficient now. You know what, maybe uncrackable instead, because I don't know that we're going to need the sensor lock on this thing. We want this thing to be firing every turn, given its incredible heat efficiency now. Yeah, I think this makes sense. Lots and lots of coolant vent, because coolant vent is the best skill, and then, you know, some other stuff. Alright, fingers crossed, everyone. This could be actually very difficult, and we really, really do not have a lot of time left to spend doing repairs on our mechs, just hanging out in orbit. So we'd like to come out of this in a condition where we can just roll right into that other 5-skull mission. I'm starting to get worried, though, that we're going to have a hard time pushing our Capellan reputation back up to 100. It is probably worth noting that it is less meaningful. Like, it's not such a big deal if we manage to get Free Worlds League down to negative 100 here. Because once we've kept out our faction reputation completion bonus, it's probably only 20,000 points total that is left in the other 2 score bars. Well, it might be a little more than that, but it's not a huge amount, is my point. So, as long as we make sure we cap out reputation completion, I guess we're fine. And then after that, the real heartbreaker will be if we're not able to finish off our mech chassis class completion. Alright, the Merrick facility is just up ahead. Secure the area, get the cargo. Ooh, that is a little bit of a... It's a little bit of a problem. I don't much like approaching a thing that's up on a hill like that. I guess that's why they built it there. Not even on a hill, like on a plateau.
On the move.
If we had brought the Stalker, or just any indirect fire mech, we could leave him down here in the water, which would be pretty handy, but unfortunately I went all direct fire, so we're just going to have to go for it. That's alright, we don't need to be nervous. We know that the Blood Wheel loves us more than it loves our foes. And what else could possibly matter, although the number of technical issues we've had over the course of this series suggest maybe otherwise. Actually, I probably shouldn't be running the Marauder so far ahead. That's maybe not wise. Alright, so what are we looking at here? An Orion V. I always want to say 5. It is not a 5, it is a V. And then over here we have something at 80 tons. I can't remember. Highlanders are either 80 or 85. I think. They're not huge. I think I'm gonna just fall back and go for the headshot here. It would be awfully convenient if we could close this guy up in one action. Okay, that's not so bad. That's his right arm, so I'm sure that's where he's keeping his autocannon, right? Because that's how they do it. So all we need is somebody who can run up there and take it off of him. And I think that's probably a job for the Annihilator. When you really want someone annihilated, might I suggest using your Annihilator. Okay, well we managed to break the other arm off. Left him with just the autocannon. That's still fine. So we're going to get a knockdown here pretty easily. Which I think means that we want to go Bull Shark next. Get the knockdown with the Bull Shark, and then that leaves him on the ground for the other thing. Ooh, Thumper Cannon. Okay, so no, the Thumper Cannon is in fact exactly the normal mortar, except that it has an extra use. Which is fine. It's not that exciting. If we run you up here...
I read you, Commander.
And just have you drop this guy, and that's a lot of heat. But I think we do just give him everything. We're probably not going to need the crab, actually. Yeah, I was going to say that's an awful lot of damage. It's not very well focused damage, but it is just a lot. It's just a large number.
Yes, Commander.
And I guess that's good because it means the crab can sprint.
On the move.
Which means we might get it into combat. Alright, please, please, please let one of these things be a Highlander. think my orders are reserve. I think we let them advance on us as much as possible. So this guy still hasn't taken his turn yet. That's an 80-something. That's a 90. So this could be like an awesome. My guess is the 80-ton mech is not going to be all that dangerous.
Orders.
It's going to be a thing that's just like annoying
Waiting
to
on
fight.
you, Commander.
Kind of want to pop up here. Remember, we have that enhanced viewfinder, so the fact that we can see him does not mean that he can see us. That is only a 60-ton mech, though. Hard to imagine him being the most relevant. Okay, I'm going to jump up to here where I can see the 90. And my right leg is weakened, but so's my left arm. I guess we'll keep our right side out. I'd rather lose a leg than an arm, because the weapons are in the arms. That is a Highlander 733P. That's the one that we don't need. Well, we brought you for your breaching shot. Why don't you just try to breach this guy's skull? Okay. It's not ideal. It went to the arm instead of the torso, but it's fine.
Yes, Commander.
That's a survivable problem. It's like the crab can't quite run around and get vision on that 80. So I sort of don't want to... I think we might just have the crab run around and hit sensor lock, right? Firing into these bulwarks just doesn't feel all that useful. This is a Zeus. So, like, with the Highlanders, we've been having the same problem that we've been having with the Shadowhawk, where we've seen a ton of Highlanders, but they've all been that one. If we're going to sensor lock somebody, I guess it's him. Just mess with his targeting components. He has the LRM-20 and a PPC. Run the Bull Shark around here. Just take it easy on the weapons for a turn. We have a lot of coolant vent, a lot of heat sinking.
Yes, Commander.
On that max, so even on turn, even in the desert, on turns where we don't fire, we're getting a lot of recovery.
Confirmed.
And the Annihilator is theoretically a little bit more fragile than the crab, but I am not afraid of putting it out front. I think probably it'll survive.
Confirmed.
I think we might not even move here. We might just do the exact same play. It would be awfully convenient to take this thing's head off. Okay. I'd rather random shots go to the legs than to the arms, at least.
I'm under heavy fire.
I really, really appreciate them going for the crab, rather than any of the other stuff. And we probably just, like, drill the Highlander now. He has a ton of center torso health, like a really absurd amount. But wow, man, he's just... what an incredibly tough mech. It sure would have been nice for any of those headshots to work out. I think... do we need to run up? It improves my shot with the medium lasers very slightly. Does this get me close enough? Oh, no, we're just... look at that. Look at the range indicator. We're just outside of optimal firing range for these. Well, I think I would rather move the Bull Shark up and get the optimal shot.
You betcha.
It's very heavily armored. I don't think we have to worry about it too much here. And I think I'm going to precision strike that leg. Knock this thing down and then work it out while it's down there.
This should be good.
Ooh, not a lot of clustering. Actually, really bad shooting. We still got the job done because it's a huge amount of total damage, but it's really bad clustering. So hopefully we can get that other leg down. And now we're not necessarily out of luck yet. This is certainly not a 5-skull lance, right? With a quick draw in it. So we know there are going to be reinforcements.
Moving to position.
We might get lucky, and the reinforcement lance might have a 733 in it. Alright, so let's do this. Apparently, can't trust the UAC. I'm gonna not even fire the UAC.
Fun.
Wow. Really? Did I do a total of 40 damage?
Receiving you.
That's way less than the value that those numbers would have suggested.
On the move.
This might fix it, though. The Annihilator's very good at this sort of thing.
Here we go.
Alright,
One
keep
last
that guy down.
Well done. Here we go.
And it's looking to me like we might even be able to get some rear arc fire on the Zeus here, if we're careful about how we do this. And obviously I'm not super concerned about the quick draw. AC5, large laser, LRM-15.
Yup.
I mean, I guess it makes the most sense of the two of you. It makes the most sense to go for this guy's face.
I got you.
But I don't think we need this to work. It would just be nice. It will save us some time if it works.
Now let's see how you handle this.
Okay, it's decent. The Hoplite does an okay amount of Alpha Strike damage. Oh, that's very questionable as a strategy. So we are in fact going to get to shoot him in the back.
Receiving you.
I just can't... Why? Why would you do that? What could possibly possess you to make such a decision?
Coordinates received.
Alright, so we'll guide all this center. We're not going to be able to fire everything here. I probably don't even need the coolant vent. Like, if we turn off... Okay, I just turn off 3 lasers to do that. He's got to take 170 damage. So, I think our odds here are really, really good. Then again, I guess we're probably not going to be fighting the reinforcement lance for a little while. Probably coolant vent will have time to regen. I'll just go ahead and give him the everything. Wow, no I will not, apparently. Coolant vent, not that effective.
Hey, buddy. Behind you.
And we certainly did not end up needing it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this thing seems like a pretty good mission reward. We could have gotten a hold of this a lot earlier, but I don't know that we needed it.
Good to go.
We managed to get a hold of the crab early enough that sort of took the role that the bull shark might otherwise have taken. And do I want to spend more of your ammo? Yeah, it's probably fine.
Moving to position. Copy that.
For a second there, I thought we got an accidental random headshot.
Mech destroyed.
Alright, well done, everyone. So, why are you not allowed to... Oh, you're too unsteady to sprint.
Bum.
Okay, problem solved. Well, let's just have you move up a little bit. There's absolutely no reason for me not to wait until we're all cooled down.
I'm rolling.
So we're just gonna screw around here at the ramp for a minute.
Good to go.
I guess you're gonna max out right away. You have 2 turns left until coolant vent. Yeah, you know what? We can actually just commit. Even our mechs that have poor cooling
My way.
at least have some heat sinking in them. There's a big difference between a mech that has two bars of heat efficiency with no heat sinks and a mech that's at 2 bars of heat efficiency while having like 6. And you see that right here.
Don't need to tell me twice.
We are incidentally destroying huge portions of their base. I really thought the hoplite was going to be able to get in here with a single jump. Alright, so we know the extract is over here somewhere, right? May as well head for this ramp down here. Remember, Crab has no jump jets, so we have to be smart. This thing also has no jump jets.
Uh-huh.
Copy that.
Oh, apparently I can't walk over there. I put myself in the corner between these 2 buildings. Alright. Cargo's aboard, head for the LZ, and here comes... No, really? Huh. A 5-skull mission where the only enemy team was a lance that was like 3 assault mechs and a quick draw? Or I guess, was it 5? It might have been 4.5. I don't remember already. But, no, it was definitely 5. That's really strange. Especially considering that the last mission that we ran on the last planet during the Lost episode was like a 3.5 skull mission, and there were 5 assault mechs in it. It was one of those ones where you end up fighting 2 lances at the same time, and it was a real nightmare. Well, if we're taking home 2 pieces of priority salvage here, a plus 10 damage PPC is fine, I guess. in terms of money making, we want to take big pieces of mechs home in theory, but like if we don't finish the Highlander, these pieces are valueless. So this is a little bit of a bet. Given that we are looking for assault mech pieces to finish things off, I reckon we're going to be going to some other high skull planets, and so fingers crossed, we'll see another Highlander 733P. You know, after we see a normal Highlander 733. And we have one more world, or one more mission here where we can hope to make this back up. I'm starting to get real concerned, though. So let's see, we need 2 pieces of this and 3 pieces of that Shadowhawk. So not only do we need to see a Shadowhawk in combat, but it has to go right. Now granted, we're pretty good at shooting the faces off of enemy mechs, so we'll probably be okay. We've recently discovered a Merrick military outpost in an extremely inconvenient location, strangling trade and movement for our personnel in the area. Your mission, eliminate defenses, then capture and hold the base. Easy enough. So, the Free Worlds League, our reputation is currently -90, so we can afford to actually take the money here and still bottom out, which I'm pretty happy about. It means we could have been a little more efficient on that last mission. Whatever, it's fine. And I don't think there's anything big to change up here. I think we're going to take the same group of mechs out because I like these mechs, but given that we have a polar biome this time, we might be able to change out our pilots a little bit. Use a non-heatsink pilot on one of these things. Although, I guess, do we need to? No, probably not, honestly. This is this is fine. Let's just go ahead and get in another great big haymaker battle. I do like these missions where we just get to go as hard as possible. That one was weirdly easy, and I know that the game doesn't work this way, but it does make me nervous that this one's going to actually be extremely difficult. You know, I'm sure the game understands that we're trying to record a series here, and it wants to just, like, sprinkle the difficulty out over the course of the episode. We want a nice dramatic arc building. So we'll support your action by drawing off some of the defenders ahead of time, so if these units retreat to the base, they'll already be weakened by our troops. So they're telling us that there will be a reinforcement lance that shows up late, but their armor will be lowered. I like the higher skull missions have some more interesting mission design. It doesn't seem like they've gone back and made the lower skull ones all that much more interesting, aside from the fact that you can now have multiple forces per mission. And I totally get that decision. You spend a huge portion of your campaign at the top of the difficulty curve. All right, let's get our forces to a position where we can blow everything up, and there's going to be turrets.
You think we'll see bears?
Sorry, she said, do you think we'll see bears? I think there will probably not be bears, no. Everybody knows that the giant robot is the natural predator of the bear, so they're going to hear us coming and they're going to clear right out of here.
I got you.
Also, I really like our mech's color schemes, and I think we look super dope in the snow.
Copy that. Uh-huh.
This Bull Shark is a cool design. I might not pull the double heat sinks out, because I might want to just leave this thing as effective as it is. Alright, so we can see a turret. Can we get you? Yes, perfect. A position where I can see them, but it's not super likely that that turret can see me. I might be close enough for that mech to see me here. But I do want to be able to see him as well.
I'm rolling.
So, we got a 90. That's an Annihilator, so very high priority. Shredder is definitely lower priority. Alright, let's try to get lucky. Got his defenses up, so we're just going to go like this.
Let's see what you got.
Okay, you know, sometimes you get real lucky. It's a shame that there's not actually an animation, like a version of the model that has a busted head. I guess it doesn't really matter because, you know, at the point at which they have a busted head, they're irrelevant anyway for, you know, lots of very good reasons. So, still it would be cool. Okay, so these things have 232, which means I kind of do need to fire everything, right? Because if we fire less than everything, but one of the AC-10 shots goes wild, yeah, let's just be thorough. Now, if they don't have any sensor lock, I think they're gonna have a hard time retaliating at all here,
Affirmative.
on account of us getting quite lucky. Ooh, they have their own crab.
Good to go.
Do we want to commit the bull shark this hard? So we could just make a short move and have... He has bulwark up. I'm not actually sure it's worth shooting at him, to be perfectly honest with you. With the amount of armor on a... Oh, boy. King Crab's real scary. This is a real scary enemy. And then that thing's a 90. These guys are not messing around. I think I might want to do a full move into a sensor lock on the crab, just in case.
Coordinates received.
Oh, right. This is Cruz. She doesn't have sensor lock, so that probably should have been a sprint. I don't really want her to be in front, though. I want our own crab to be in front. I think I'm going to reserve down. Let's let them start coming to us.
10-4.
And then, of course, we're going to do our best to lance the face clean off of that crab. I'm really bummed out that I can't see the crab from this raised position. I bet I could if I was over there, but we're not quite in the right spot. Well, I guess I have him from where I'm at. Fingers crossed.
Firing.
Well done.
It's,
Here we go.
man, it's such an effective strategy. The thing is, it's such an effective strategy. Also, that's a pretty nice looking paint job. Oh hey, they revealed their other crab. Oh no. We've fallen into their trap. We shot at the decoy crab. We should probably have the Annihilator push up and get vision of that guy, because we don't know what his deal is, but the Annihilator is more likely to be able to take his head off.
Moving to position.
It is a Cyclops 10Q. So, definitely a lot less dangerous. Also a lot easier to kill, right? 1360. It's actually very heavily armored. It does have ammo in the center torso, which is not true of you, right? Yeah, that's rough. Actually, this thing has way more torso armor than the crab does. But we could probably burrow through. Here's the thing. I'm thinking headshot maybe not so good because of the bulwark. We'd have to hit twice for it to be meaningful. But we might be able to, over the course of a couple of mechs here, tear through that very heavy center torso armor and get a lucky shot on the that ammo bin. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it.
Giving them everything I got.
The odds of the head play working out are just too low, I think.
What can I do for you?
Let's get you over here and also have you focus on this. And unfortunately, now that they have vision of us, they are potentially going to be able to use their LRM turrets, which one has to presume they have.
Orders.
Oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous about letting their crab get his UAC-20 off. Or sorry, his AC-20, his paired AC-20s, which is very slightly different.
Target confirmed.
Okay, good clustering. Those both went center. We're almost through.
Give them everything you've got.
What are your orders, Skipper?
My order is for you to get exceedingly lucky a third time. I mean, it's not really that unlikely. So it's only lucky the first time. It becomes exceedingly unlucky on the third consecutive one. Okay, totally fine. So we're going to try to get some of our... I have no idea what all this debris that's flying around is. We're going to try to get
Yes, Commander.
some of these mechs down into the trees. No, apparently not. Well, this should make it very difficult for the crab to shoot at me.
Engaging jump jet.
So now we have this big rock outcropping between me and him. And let's just try to finish it.
Targeting for an alpha strike.
Okay, we got there. No ammo explosion, just enough raw damage. He's gonna get to shoot at somebody. But, yeah, it being our crab is optimal.
Damage minimal.
Alright, let's see about getting a little bit of vengeance. Aha! I get my UAC. Well, it is a little bit of a shame that I don't get to precision strike here, but we're going in through that side. We can probably break one of his AC-20s off right here.
All weapons. Go.
Well, I crit it. That's something.
Inflicted some heavy damage. Waiting on you, Commander.
And then the question is there any reason not to do the most obvious thing? I'm pretty sure that we do just want to, like, mash all of the things against his side until that arm comes off. We're pretty close. The leg on that side isn't looking so hot either.
Another hit like that and you're
Is
toast.
that a... Yes, it was a knockdown. Okay, he's in grave danger.
Well done. Here we go.
Ready to rock.
And him being knocked down makes it very unlikely that he will be able to retaliate in any meaningful way. So let's just give him the everything, and we probably don't want to bother going through the leg. I think we can just try to drill center at this point.
Copy that.
So even if he gets close enough to use that remaining autocannon, his accuracy is going to be all screwed up. Oh, he still hit me. Ow. Yep, almost through the center torso armor in a single hit.
Awaiting orders.
It's a terrifying weapon. Obviously would prefer to hit him in that side if possible.
Good to go.
I mean, do I want to just spend the precision strike? Now, you know, we have the whole round to take him down. I'm gonna lay off the UAC and we'll take it easy with this mech. Stack up some damage, let somebody else finish the job.
Scored a critical hit. What can I do for you?
The bull shark would probably like to have a turn to chill out if it can. I think we should be able to finish this off here. So he has 25 center health left. I think we can probably do this like this. I'll precision strike with you. Okay, cool.
You're clear to move on.
Now that is a legitimate 5-skull lance that we just went up against, especially when we consider the turrets. So it may well be the case that there are no other enemies on this mission. I'm not expecting reinforcements. There could be reinforcements,
Yes. Give them
but we
everything.
shouldn't expect. Oh no, I guess from the mission description, maybe we should expect reinforcements. You know what? Let's just not have you do anything just yet.
Waiting for the right play.
Waiting on you,
Can
Commander.
the bull shark get close enough? It absolutely can. Alright, good view of the outpost, and this is when, yep, this is when we're getting guys back. It's wild that this mission and the last one are the same difficulty. Just doesn't make any kind of sense. We are not short, really, on ammunition for the UACs, but we could probably turn these off.
Gotcha.
Man, it's a pretty alright mech build.
Reporting.
If you just do a normal move, yes, you will have sensor lock range. Okay, let's do
On
that.
my way. Sensors locked on.
Huh, they're all just shredder turrets, huh? That is maybe not the way... I'm not trying to tell these guys how to do their job or anything. This is maybe not the way that I would have constructed my base defenses. And here, I think we will just give them everything. We could afford to turn off one autocannon and the odds would still be, like, pretty good.
Receiving you.
We've gotten close enough to that final turret. Fortunately,
Let's do this.
we're not going to be able to get vision of it, are we? Oh no, if we do this, you will in fact. Alright. This might be a little dangerous. Is it a shredder? It is a shredder.
Confirmed.
Okay, so not too bad then.
Affirmative, Commander.
Oh, we're outside combat rounds. What am I thinking?
What are your orders, Skipper?
Okay, so we should in fact be in a great position to take this thing down. Although my AC-10 apparently... Huh. Guess we're just not going to have the AC-10 from here. We still got plenty of Gauss rifle ammo, so we can soften this thing up this way. Two shots with a Gauss weapon kills any turret, which is pretty handy. If only we had
Reporting. Need
two Gauss weapons.
Awaiting orders.
Yeah, this should Hold on, it doesn't need to be you. Let's have somebody else do this. Let's have the bull shark take this guy on.
Got it.
We could probably turn off one of these lasers, just stay really, really fresh for the reinforcement lance that I'm sure is going to show up the second we step somebody into the zone here. And in the interest of, oh, maybe even before that.
Looks like enemy reinforcements.
I was going to say, in the interest of safety, we might just spend a turn standing right outside the zone. Apparently it is time to rock right now. 95, 90, and 80.
Yup.
And maybe there's only 3 of them? Maybe. I bet they can't see me from here. So we have a 10 HQ, an awesome 8Q, and then a 95 ton something I can't see. Cyclops 10 HQ actually doesn't have much in the way of weaponry. The awesome 8Q is not a great mech, but it's better in this biome than it is in most.
Here we go.
Did those both hit the... No, one hit the leg and one hit the arm.
You like that?
I was gonna say, if those both went to the leg, that's still a very successful shot, right? Okay, unfortunately, it's a crappy Banshee.
Waiting for orders.
Let's have the Bull Shark. I get... Oof, really? You can't get anybody else? You don't have any... It's like, that's the one mech I'm not really interested in shooting at. Well, we may as well. Just do this shot again so as not to waste any heat. Or, I suppose we may as well hit the Thumper. If this is the only way I'm going to be able to deal damage to the mechs I care about anyway, right?
This is gonna be a big, beautiful kaboom!
It's not going to be a lot of damage, but it's better than just shooting the garbage Cyclops.
Awaiting orders.
And it looks like it actually is only 3 of them.
Throttle at full.
We're basically fresh. We're 90% fresh. Aside from the center torso armor on the crab.
Yes, I'm there.
Oh no, there totally is another sneaky mech hiding back there. I didn't even see him take time to take his turn. Well, the Awesome is a higher priority target. How's its armor looking? We can maybe get through that leg. Yeah, let's try to get through that leg.
Firing. Think I hit something good.
You know, the Annihilator gets it done. It's hard to argue with the raw damage output.
No retreat.
So, it's an awesome 8T, which is a better design. That said, probably still not a huge danger to us. And the question is, what do we do about the 8Q? If we don't try to take the other leg now, I guess I can't get the other leg now anyway. This Banshee's not super terrifying. I think I care about the awesome 8T the most of these mechs. Seems strange, but I think that's actually right. And he doesn't have any defense up, so...
Affirmative.
Okay, we didn't get him with the Gauss rifle, but we got him with the other one.
Eliminated.
It is handy to have a sniper. And then we'll get to go first during the Initiative 1 phase. So if we can get the Annihilator to a place where it can see the Awesome, we probably could actually take its other leg. That said, with it laying down, I'm assuming my vision's going to be... nope, never mind. We totally have a place where we have an unobstructed shot. I might be able to prevent this thing from getting back up. Yep, I think 2 of the AC-10s went off target, and we still got the job done.
Awaiting orders.
Have the Bull Shark run up. And at this point, we're just like, we're not in a lot of danger. You just kind of shoot at whoever. I guess the Cyclops doesn't have any damage reduction, so let's go there. And what are we looking at? This leg's already a little damaged, otherwise we're going to have to go through the left torso. I mean, we want to just hit his center, right? It'll be easier to do if we take his leg off. But we could just open up the side. It's fine. The difference in the difference in the total amount of damage we'd have to deal to take the leg off or take the torso off isn't that great. I think you actually just sprint again. It takes a long time for the crab to get into position if it starts on the wrong side of a battle. So then the question is,
Minimal damage.
do we attempt to core out the Cyclops, or do we kill the Banshee? I think we can probably, given that the Cyclops has, has an ammo bin in its center torso and everything, probably we just finish off the Cyclops here. This is looking like it's going to be fairly easy. We have definitely seen 5 skull missions be a lot more dangerous than the 2 that we saw today.
Awaiting orders.
If you were to ask me what the difficulty rating of that first mission we did was, honestly, I'd tell you it feels more like a 3.5, like maybe not even actually a 4.
Firing all weapons.
Did I just hard miss with one of the UAC-20 projectiles? I feel like that happens a lot.
That one. Good to go.
I mean, it's not like a huge shock. That thing must really, really kick. But also, it is weird that it's the first one that always misses.
Firing everything I've got.
Okay. We still haven't actually stepped in the capture zone yet. Always something I could have found a moment to do during all that scuffling. So somebody get in here. Is that in the zone? That might be in the zone.
10-4.
You don't have jump jets.
You betcha.
There we go. That's definitely in the zone. I'm pretty sure it's just going to give us a mission end now. Yep, there we go. The outpost is under our control. The Steiners will be happy with the results. I'll be happy with the results because look at all the numbers. Although, honestly, still pretty bummed out that we have not yet seen the Highlander we're looking for. Also, a little disappointed that we found the medium we wanted, and we got the little rush of endorphins that I received there, but it still didn't actually finish a class, because that was the class that still had 2 things left in it. I don't know, we probably could have spun the wheel on those, but there's no way to know when you're going to get those ones, and when you're going to get the ones that make you fight 2 full 5 Skull Lances at the same time, so... Well, from a money-making standpoint, we definitely just want to take 2 pieces of Annihilator and hope that we randomly get the 3rd piece. Unless we see like a... Ooh, yep, that's the kind of thing I was about to say. Honestly, it still might be worth taking the 2 Annihilator pieces instead. We will use the gyro. Okay, we wouldn't have gotten the other Annihilator piece anyway. We might be able to put together another couple of assault mechs to sell before the end of the campaign here. 175 days, is it? It's not a lot of time, but it's definitely at least, you know, a few more jumps. It would be nice if we could just keep making like 9-day trips around the map, but that's not usually available to you. Even if you're covering very small distances, it's usually significantly more days than that because of that, like, that leaving the planet, getting to the planet effect. So, we don't have any repairs that need doing, right? Right, and we now have, 50,000 completion points. So remember, we will get the 27,000 that's sitting right here. This is actually ours. I'm just waiting until the last moment so that we could potentially benefit from the morale boost. There's, not even, it's like 12,000 total points left in reputation movement, so that's not a big concern. It really is the case that our number one issue is getting mech weight class completion done. We need those chassis, because that's 45,000 points right there. We'll continue to accumulate C-Build points, we'll continue to accumulate contract points just by continuing to play the game. Each new star system we visit is 500 points, so we'll keep getting that as well. Obviously, we'll keep generating experience on our mech warriors, although at this point, 50 XP is 1 score. Yeah, it's not a... There's a huge amount left in that bar, but we are not going to cover most of it. Actually, on the whole, if we can get our mech weight class completion done, our score is going to be like good, even like past fine. It's just a matter of getting lucky. And then we still have Mercenary Review Board rep to gain, which is worth something. Yeah, it really is all about finding those mechs, isn't it? Alright, let's figure out where we might want to go next. We have done everything here that we wanted to do, right? Am I correct about that? Yeah, okay. So, it probably makes the most sense to go to high difficulty worlds. Wow, yeah, like that. I was going to say high difficulty worlds that have Capellan reputation available. And I guess to look for... We want to be on the Capellan side because we want to be able to use the markets. Now that we've pushed our reputation down so much with the Free Worlds League, we won't be able to shop at their worlds anymore. We could go to Athna, but I'm looking for, like, manufacturing tags and, electronics, stuff like that. The kinds of tags that tell you there will be more mechs available in the shop than usual. There are filters up here. Chemicals, electronics. Huh. The manufacturing tag is not in the filter list. I wonder if that means that I was misinformed and that the manufacturing tag does not, in fact, matter for the purposes of finding stuff in the store. It might be the case. And this might be the kind of thing where maybe I want to go, like, do a little bit of research before we move around. Let's see. That's a 1,000 point travel, because it takes us 2 new planets deep. And it's a high difficulty world with a bunch of positive modifiers. There's research stuff. It's got a mega city. So the people there are rich and might want to buy. This has former Star League presence, which means we might see some Lost Tech type stuff. Not the stuff we need at the moment. Also 17 days. Also pretty good reputations. Basically what we're looking for, ideally, is a world that has Capellan reputation plus any number of our enemy factions, which should be all of the stuff in Capellan space, right? I thought I remembered that the manufacturing tag was really important, but the fact that it doesn't appear in the filter list makes me think that I was maybe wrong about that. Well, it looks like maybe we could spend 14 days flying out to Carvasa, check and see this store, and then move to, like, Bellatrix, where there are a lot of other tags, and hopefully, between the lot of those, be able to find the things we're looking for. What exactly is the value of each point of reputation right now? Because obviously there's still the matter of the Canopian reputation bar, which we could push down further. And each point of reputation is going to be worth 100 points. So it does matter. It does matter quite a bit, in fact. If we can visit worlds that have Canopian reputation as well. And we could go to Canopian space for this. Because Canopian, I believe all of the Canopian worlds also have Capellan presence. Dunian Shire, which is where we were planning to go before, has some interesting tags on it. It is 27 days away, though, which is a huge percentage of our total remaining time. There's one manufacturing world, one mining world. I believe the mining tag... Boy, I wish these tags had more, like, actual information on them, like game information. Alright, you know what? I might go do some research, just figure out which tags actually mean what things. So I think here's where we'll call it for today. Thank you all so much for watching and for sticking sticking with us through all of the ridiculous problems I've been having. Honestly, I'm not having technical issues with most of the games we're playing. It's just this and Total War Warhammer, for some reason. These last 2 series have been a real nightmare in terms of, like, game crashes and video corruption and... Whatever, we've almost made it through to the end, and you know, blowing up giant robots using other giant robots is still pretty fun. It's still a good time. So come back next time on Monday, when we shall continue the explosions, and we'll see you then.